a quick body workout. Let's start with some step jacks, or if you prefer something a little more dynamic, you can go straight into jumping jacks. And this is just to get your body warmed up, get it moving, get it going. I did this, and it was actually chilly the morning that I did this. It was pretty overcast. I was really surprised because it ended up being a very hot day. I'm going to go into some high knees here. I'm going to give you different versions of a lot of these movements just so that you can adapt them to yourself. You can see me bracing myself, get balance. This is a more dynamic high knee. I'm going to go into leg swings. This is something that's controlled. Don't let momentum get the best of you, and it's just trying to loosen up those hamstrings, but in a dynamic way. Just increase circulation so that we don't have any injuries. So I'm just going back and forth here, just trying to warm up my hips and my legs. Like I said, it was chilly this morning. Okay, I'm gonna go into what I call butt kickers. These are just to get the quads loosened up in a dynamic way. You'll see a lot of runners go through this type of warm-up, especially before a run, but when it's cold out, it just helps circulate the blood, and that way there's no possibility of injury. So just going through the motions here, trying to get the body warmed up. You see me keep rubbing my hands together because it was chilly. I'm going into the hips, and this is just a side lunge. You guys are very familiar with this, but I'm starting very shallow, as you see, and I'm moving back and forth. I'm just trying to get things loose. I'll start going a little deeper later when I actually add side lunges into the workout. But I'm going to go into some good mornings here. Good mornings are very effective to stretch out those hamstrings and just get circulation through the hips and the torso. And you see I'm trying to keep the back straight. The bend is at the hips. You're going to bend at the hips, squeeze the glutes as you come up, and just keeping that core nice and tight. Always protecting the spine. And if you could do that 2 times, that'd be a really good warm-up if you have time. So here's the workout. We're going into squats. Yes, you knew they were coming. So just a basic body weight squat, nothing fancy. You notice I'm not going too deep, and then as I warm up, I start going a little deeper. Really trying to get some muscle action here. Going down, keeping the torso tight, and then squeeze on the way up. I go through a couple of different versions of some of these movements. Here I'm showing you a squat, but what I call is a sit to stand. Just put a chair behind you. It's the same muscles that work during a squat that work during a sit to stand. Next, we're going to go into a lunge. I know a lot of people don't like lunges, but just go as deep as you can. As long as you're working the muscle, even in a very shallow movement, you're still working the muscle. And that is the goal. So you see I started shallow, started going a little deeper as I got warmer. I'm going to go ahead and switch legs here. Same idea, starting shallow and then just work in a little deeper when I'm comfortable. Okay, gonna head right back into those side lunges. And again, not going very deep. And then you'll notice I start going a little deeper once I feel like I'm warm. And with this, and like all lunges, all squats, pushing through the heel, squeeze that glute. It really takes all the pressure out of your knee and puts it into your glute, your hamstring, and your quads. All right, all done with legs for now. I was feeling a burn. I'm done. We're gonna go ahead and move into some torso work. So I'm gonna start with some wood chops. On these, give yourself some resistance. Keep that belly button in pulled tight. But pretend there is a cable or some tubing giving you some resistance on the way down and on the way up. Just act like you're pushing and pulling against something. And if you can really rotate, rotate. Pivot on that back foot. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides here. I tried to be good, guys. I tried to count. I did my very, very best, but you know that's a weakness of mine. Again, just trying to pivot off that back foot, give yourself some resistance, and keep that belly button in tight. I'm going to wrap those up and go into some knee tucks, some single knee tucks. Bringing one knee up. Still keeping that torso tight, so belly button's pulled in nice and tight. This really helps with the obliques. Anytime you're working core, you're helping balance. This is something you can definitely do faster if you feel like you need to do something a little more dynamic. You need to get the heart rate up. I'm going to finish up with these knee tucks here. I'm going to go into calf raises, double calf raise. So I'm using both feet on the ground. If you need something a little more challenging, feel free to add some reps or go into single leg calf raise. Some skaters here. I'm definitely going to give you a lot of examples on how you can do your skaters. I do a lot of these because they're really good for balance, they're really good to get the heart rate up, and they're just good for those hips. So this is a little more dynamic, and you can definitely slow it down. If you feel like your balance is good, you can just go across behind lunge is really all it is, and just go down as deep as you can. You definitely want to challenge yourself, but you don't want knees hurting. If you're having a little trouble with balance, just grab something to give you a little bit of guidance, to give you that steadiness that you may need. But just keep going through the whole motion of crossing behind. And go as slow or as fast as you need to go. Getting that out of the way, let's prep for some wall push-ups. Getting the body prepped, keeping the core nice and tight. We're going to be pushing through the chest. On these wall push-ups, you can make them as easy or as hard as you need them to be. Feet closer to the wall, hands higher up the wall makes it easier. Feet further away from the wall and hands lower down on the wall makes it harder. You could definitely grab a bench like that little stool I had and do incline push-ups in that position. Or you can just take it to the ground and you can have knees down going into that push-up, or just full-fledged push-up. Since I was on the wall already, I decided I would go ahead and work some triceps. So same position basically. I had a watch in the way, so I was moving that out of the way. But you're going to be wanting to push with your triceps, so still going to keep that core nice and tight and focusing on those tricep muscles. That's what you're pushing with. So hands are getting pressed to the wall, straightening out those arms, but we are not locking out those elbow joints. We do not ever want to lock out a joint. Keep the core tight. Again, the further out you go, the harder it gets. The closer you get to the wall, the easier it is. Okay, gonna move on to some planks. I went ahead and started with an incline plank using the stool here. I'm going through a couple different versions. I'm going to come down on my elbows. Then I'm going to move this stool out of the way and go into a plank on the ground. If this doesn't suit you, you can definitely go down to your elbows and do a plank in that position. I'm getting the stool back out because I'm going to start doing some mountain climbers. You can definitely do these on the ground as well, hands on the ground, just going into those mountain climbers. You can use the stool like I am here. You can definitely go faster or slower. I'm also going to move it to the wall. I'm moving to the mat here. I'm going to do some donkey kicks. So I'm going to tighten up the core again, belly button in. Stabilize myself on all fours and then flex my foot so I can point my heel to the sky. That's what really engages the glute and the hamstring. I did 2 sets of 10. So I'm going back for my second set. Next, I'm going to do cross behind donkey kicks. You can't really tell here, but I'm taking my right leg, I'm crossing it under or behind my left leg, and then going up to the sky, still with that flexed foot. You should start to feel this more towards the lateral side or the hip, the outside hip. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and start my cool down. I'm getting a few cat-cows here. I want you to get full flexion of your spine all the way up, all the way down, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into child pose and just try to let my body rest, recover, stretch. You can stay in this position as long as it's comfortable for you. After this, you're going to notice I pop up. I'm going into hanging triangle. Hanging triangle is really great for the low back and the hamstrings. Hang about 15-20 seconds and just be slow on the way up. And this is the entire workout. Do it twice if you like, but that's it. Thanks.